Flying is our job, and we're staying on the job.
SportsCenter Plus is brought to you by the Menon Company. All over the world, Menon products take care of people who take care of themselves.
Hello, everybody. David Sullivan for SportsCenter Plus, and in just a couple of minutes, live coverage of the season premiere of the Professional Bowlers Association Summer Tour, the Denver Open, the $115,000 event, just a couple of minutes away from that. Major League Baseball, American League, final score, Kansas City and Oakland. They went way into extra innings with the Royals winning it 3-2 in the 14th inning. They got a run in the top of that inning, and Jones was the winner with McCaddy being tagged with a loss. Meanwhile, United Press International reporting Earl Weaver will be coming back to manage the Baltimore Orioles, and that the Orioles later in the week will fire manager Joe Salvemini. Baltimore right now is in a road trip. They are playing at Detroit against the Tigers. Tigers have struck early in the first inning and lead it by a 1-0 score. Milwaukee and Boston also underway. Top of the first, no score for the Brewers. Red Sox coming to bat. Minnesota and Cleveland has been postponed by rain. No makeup date has been set for that game yet. We'll be back and take a look at the National League right after we take the SportsCenter timeout.
Working out, sweating, gives me the edge. Afterwards, I want to feel dry and odor-free all day. Speed Stick Antiperspirant gives me an edge, too. Speed Stick's the wide stick. Goes on dry for man-sized protection. Whatever game you're in, the wide stick gives you the edge.
Speed Stick Super Dry Antiperspirant.
By Menon.
Shaving's rough on sensitive skin, but aftershave skin conditioner soothes.
Sensible care for sensitive skin. AFTA.
By Menon.
Giants and the Braves of the National League in the late innings of their game in Atlanta. The Braves taking a lead into the 9th inning, now 5-2. Dale Murphy's hit his 15th home run of the year. Chicago and Montreal, 3rd inning, 1-0. Expos lead that one, Sutcliffe against Palmer. The Mets and the Phillies, they had a high-scoring one last night, and so far there is no score in the first inning, or going into the 2nd inning as Carlton is on the mound against Darling. Also rainouts, Los Angeles, Cincinnati, postponed by rain, and the Pirates' home game against the St. Louis Cardinals also has been postponed because of rain in the National League. Coming up now, live coverage of the Denver Open on the Pro Bowlers Association Summer Tour. Hope you enjoy the bowling action. I'm David Sullivan.
SportsCenter Plus has been brought to you by the Menon Company. All over the world, Menon products take care of people who take care of themselves. Don't drink and drive. A public service message from ESPN.
A 300 game is something that every bowler dreams about. Well, Mike Aulby bowled 2 300 games this week. This tournament has produced 35 in the last 5 years. We could have some big numbers tonight. ESPN, the Total Sports Network, and the Professional Bowlers Association presents the $115,000 Denver Open from Celebrity Sports Center in Denver, Colorado. Brought to you by your neighborhood True Value Hardware store. And by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Denver, Colorado. I'm Irv Brown, excited and delighted to be coming in your homes every Wednesday night. We have the best bowlers in the world. You'll see them every Wednesday night. This is going to be fun. And the man who knows the bowlers best is Bud Fisher, the PR director. And, Bud, first of all, we haven't been with you for 4 or 5 years. You've got some changes.
Yes, we do, Irv. In the last 4 or 5 years, our prize money has grown tremendously. In addition to our 35 national tournaments, we run about 120 regional tournaments. And prize money this year will be over $6 million, and that's a lot of prize money since you were last with us. PBA is rather exclusive now. We have 3,000 members, and it's getting a lot tougher to be a pro than it used to be some years ago.
I think I'll stick to it now and say, all right, you got something in your hand there. What's that all about?
Well, some time ago, the True Value people decided they wanted to add a little bit of excitement to Pro Bowlers Tour. And Ed Langto up at True Value said, maybe if we can give one of the guys a bonus for rolling a 300 game on television, here's $25,000. The last time it happened was back in 1974 when Jim Stiffnish did it.
Hey, hopefully it's going to happen tonight. All right, you get this question a lot, Bud. Is a bowler an athlete?
Yes, we do get the question a lot, Irv, and indeed he is. And just shortly, if I can tell you a little story to prove it. You know, our veteran players out here, they're all good golfers. And the news media around the country treat golfers as professional athletes. We get a lot of our young players who win a tournament and they buy a bag of golf clubs. Within 1 year, with the hand-eye coordination that they have and the timing, they're shooting in the high 70s and the low 80s. And I know millions of people around the country would give their eye teeth if they could do that well after 10 or 15 years. We think that they're professional athletes in every sense of the word.
You're looking at one who would give his eye teeth. Some of the stops this summer, you better bring your suntan lotion, you better bring some other stuff.
Oh, we've got a great summer tour. There's a couple tournaments in particular. You know, we're going down to Las Vegas for the Showboat Doubles Classic late June and early July, and to Tucson, Arizona. Those are two stops that have been with us for 20 and 21 years, going back into the early 1960s. And ESPN fans are going to be able to see our seniors in action, too. The last two tournaments on the summer tour. We have the Columbia Seniors Touring Pro Doubles down in Erlanger, Kentucky, and we also have our National Seniors Championship in Canton, Ohio. Dick Weber, Carmen Salvino defending those titles, and Mark Roth and Marshall Holman, they practically own that doubles championship.
But it's going to be fun. Thank you. We've been talking to you a bunch this summer. When we come back, we're going to talk to a class guy, Mike Durbin. You stick with us.
We've got what it takes, True Value. We've got what it takes. We've got what it takes to make it easy. We've got what it takes to make it good.
During June, get a Master Mechanic 21-piece socket set for just $8.99. Look for the True Value of the Month banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
We've got what it takes, True Value.
This Bud's for all you guys who know it's how you play the game.
This Bud's for you. There's no one else who makes them move the way you do. Come your way. So here's to you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do. This Bud's for you.
Business travelers are waking up to the good deal they get at Howard Johnson.
Good morning.
A recent survey was positively eye-opening. Our guests rated our message and wake-up service higher than Best Western guests rated theirs. Our room decor better than Holiday Inn guests. Our staff more efficient than Ramada's. Towels thicker, too. People with a nose for business are finding the nearly 500 Howard Johnson hotels and lodges a good deal. And a good deal more.
You know what I don't like about dandruff? Dandruff shampoos. I'm afraid they won't leave my hair the way I like it. This shampoo cares for my hair. It's the only one with a self-balancing formula. Puts dandruff protection where I need it, on my scalp, not on my hair, and it conditions where I need it. Leaves my hair looking and feeling good. Yeah, my shampoo's a dandruff shampoo, but it's today's Head & Shoulders, and it cares for my hair.
Well, as I promised, a class guy, Mike Durbin. Not only is he a class guy, he's a great bowler. He's in the Hall of Fame, and just delighted to be working with him. Well, what's been happening this week?
Well, Irv, you know, this is the 5th consecutive year that the PBA has come back to Denver. And my wife is originally from Denver, and she's always bragging to me about this town, and it really is beautiful. I have to admit, with the mountains sitting off to the west, it's a very picturesque town. And we've had a very attractive center to bowl in this week, Celebrity Sports Center. The scores have been what I would call moderate. It took about a 212 average to make our top 24. It took a 207 average to make 53rd last place in the money. Today, I'm looking for moderate scores again. Everybody's hoping for high scores, but I'm thinking the guys that can bowl right around that 210 to 220 range are going to win the games tonight.
Incidentally, my sister-in-law went to school with your wife. This is a small world. All right, we start with 5 bowlers, and they'll work their way up to number 1. The first guy we'll look at is Mike Aulby. Tell me about Mike.
I think the impressive thing about Mike Aulby is his cool under pressure. He's bowled on television 4 times this year already. He's won 3 tournaments. His goal is to be Bowler of the Year this year. He's already won 3 titles. In order to achieve that goal, he may need to win 4 or 5. To do that tonight, he has to win 4 games. That's what he wants to do.
The left-hander will bear watching. All right, now he's going against a guy who I have promised I will not mispronounce his name, Joe Salvemini. What do you know about Big Joe?
Joe Salvemini is a very hot and cold player, another left-handed player who can throw a lot of strikes. He's won 2 PBA titles. He'll go several weeks without cashing, then suddenly win one. So it's feast or famine with Joe. And again, in order to win his 3rd title, he has to win 4 games tonight also.
So we'll see if he cashes tonight. All right, the 3rd spot belongs to a guy by the name of Tom Kreitz, the rookie. Tell me about Tommy.
Well, I really don't know a lot about Tommy Kreitz. All I know is that he is a rookie on the tour. He's an unknown quantity, but yesterday he averaged .232 in winning quite a few matches to move from 16th place up to 3rd. He's going to get his true baptism under fire tonight because there's no pressure like that first pressure of national television. He's going for his first PBA title.
And Tom does have a little bulldog in his eyes. He's going to be good. Mike Edwards is a guy you're kind of familiar with. You've gone head-to-head with him a bunch. Tell me about Mike.
You know, when anybody asks me to look for promising young talent on the PBA Tour, I always mention Mike Edwards. And one of the reasons I do is I love to watch Mike's beautiful hand release. He comes through the ball as clean as any bowler as I've ever seen. I did bowl him earlier in the year. He left an awful 4-9 to lose the tournament. At that time, it cost him a lot of money. It cost him a chance in being in the Tournament of Champions. This is his first real chance to come back since that bad break. I know he wants to win that first title tonight. He needs to win 2 games to do it.
A former linebacker who played with a fellow by the name of Spencer Tillman, who we all know about. We'll watch him close. All right, that leaves the guy who has the #1 spot. And he looks like he ought to be a linebacker today for the Denver Broncos. We're talking about Mark Baker.
Mark Baker is a big young lion on the PBA Tour. He's only 23 years old. He's big and strong and aggressive. He uses his strength in his bowling. He's a muscle player. By that I mean he uses a lot of muscle. It's not a free swing. He throws a powerful ball, a lot of hook. He gets a lot of strikes. He looks like he's just ready to break through at any time. Needs a win to get back in the Tournament of Champions. He has 1 win. His only goal tonight is to win that tournament and get back in the TFC.
I always like to put people on the spot. This is the first of 12. Who's going to win this tonight, Mike Durbin?
Well, I'm notorious for being wrong, but I'm going to pick Mark Baker.
All right, you heard it from this man. That will set the scene. All of the action coming up from Celebrity in Denver, Colorado. This is going to be fun.
Watch how my new Chimney Quick charcoal starter beats his old-fashioned way.
Old-fashioned?
He's still using lighter fluid. My Chimney Quick uses newspaper. It'll pay for itself in a season.
And no lighter fluid taste.
Chimney Quick works as easy as 1, 2, 3. Load the newspaper into the bottom and the charcoal in the top. See? It measures just the amount you need. No waste. Light the newspaper. Now, the Chimney Quick directs the flame and speeds up draft to give you fully lit, cooking hot charcoal in minutes. Then pour the hot coals into your grill, exactly where you want them. He's still huffing and puffing.
We're hungry. Now we're ready to cook.
I'm ready for a Chimney Quick.
Great gift idea.
Come on, where'd you get it?
You'll find the Chimney Quick from Kristen at these and other fine stores where barbecue grills and charcoal are sold.
What do you call a charcoal that doesn't need lighter fluid? Convenient.
Matchlight charcoal. What could be more convenient?
This tugboat crew has a plan, and they begin by digging into those 2 scoops of plump, juicy raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Hooked up and in command, they're working now, but they're thinking how they love 2 scoops and golden flakes of bran. 2 scoops, they're turning back again for 2 scoops of plump, juicy raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Now with even more raisins, even harder to resist.
2 scoops.
Saturday, ESPN has one of the best live matchups of the USFL season when Oakland hosts New Jersey. Bobby Hebert and the Invaders have already clinched a playoff spot, while Herschel Walker has the Generals knocking on the door. It's a game for the Spring League superstars, live Saturday.
Welcome back, Celebrity Sports Center. We're awaiting the match between Mike Aulby and Joe Salvemini. You watched him warm up. Can you tell anything by the warm-up, Mike?
Sometimes you can, Irv, and sometimes you can't. Salvemini seemed to have a lot of trouble on the practice balls, and Alby was going along. It's interesting that the player above always has the choice of what lane he wants to finish on, and every bowler picked to finish on the left lane. So they must think the lane 61 here at Celebrity Sports Center is easier than lane 62. But again, I'm looking for, you know, those moderate scores right around 200 to 210.
All right, let's see what happens.
Well, they're getting one more practice ball. To start the match, each bowler will get one practice ball on each lane. And at this stage, usually I don't even like to take them because I always strike on the practice balls, and then the game starts and I don't get the strike. So they're just trying to get their timing together right now. And if they haven't found the lanes by now, they've been practicing for over an hour. Usually these last two shots won't do it. Salvemini hasn't been striking, just threw 2 strikes in practice there.
Let a bad 150 bowler ask you, when do you lose the butterflies? Do they still have them?
Usually, oh yeah, I would think that both players still have the butterflies. Usually with me, it takes a few frames into that first game. And it'll depend what my opponent's doing and what I'm doing. If it's a tight match, I may not lose it till the game is over.
Tough sport.
It is. You're all by yourself.
Sport, yes.
Right away, Mike Aulby asked for a re-rack on lane 61, and the PBA rule says that he's entitled to 3 per game. So he's already burned up 1.
All right, let's see what Mike can do. The vital statistics, 5'8", 145. He's 25 years of age. Hometown, Indianapolis, Indiana. He is a winner. He's won a great deal of money this year.
He'll be playing right around the first arrow on the left side. A little inside the first arrow. And the ball comes up light, leaves only the 3-pin. Pin rolls around, doesn't hit it. Actually, he's pleased with that shot because he didn't get it close to the 1-2 pocket that he's looking for, and to get 9 out of that shot, he could have 5.
So when you say the first arrow, we're talking between actually the 0 and 5 boards for people who score along with us.
Right. There's 7 arrows out there, and they're numbered from the left to the right. The first arrow is the farthest left for a left-hander, and the first arrow is the farthest right for a right-hander, and then they come in second, third, and the middle arrow is the 4th arrow for both sides of the lane. At the 3-pin, should present no problem, and he has it easily.
So Alby marks Joe Salvemini, who has his name mispronounced more than anyone in the world.
Joe is a 5-step player. Swing kind of drifts a little bit behind his back, and he throws it slow and a lot of hook. Right over the first arrow, high, breaks it up and leaves only the 2-pin.
We had a chance to talk to Joe just a little earlier, and we asked him about how he has been hot and cold on the tour.
Well, it's definitely started out to be that way in my beginning of my career. Lately, though, I've been happy to say that it's improved quite a bit, where my spare game's improved, and even when I don't have the shot to my liking, I managed to hang around and give myself a chance at least a check.
Well, that's just doing it the easy way, huh, Mike?
Well,
no sense using a lot of energy.
He hit him thin and watch him spin, you know, or don't hurt him too much. But he just talked about how he'd improved his spare game, and then he almost opened the match up by missing that spare. An easy spare, by the way, a 2-pin.
Now, would you describe him as a cranker or a finesse player?
He's more of a finesse player, I would think. He's kind of in between, you know, between a stroker and a cranker. They call it crokers. As he buries one in the 1-2 pocket. He's playing a little bit further outside than Alby is.
All right, let's take a look at Mike. Once again, working on a spare. I mentioned Alby has made a great deal of money. Career earnings, $498,000.
Alby's very meticulous. Doesn't take an excessive amount of time, but he makes sure that he's standing where he wants to stand and try and throw where he wants to. Slow, goes high, leaves the 2-4-7-8. Mike's fishing for his speed right now. He just a little wide on the first shot, tries to make the adjustment. Speed's too soft, cuts right through the heart of the pins. Has a really tough spare right here.
His count is 16. Has to pick up, as we mentioned, the 2-4-7-8.
What he's going to do on this, Irv, is he's going to shoot it off the strike line, try and go right down, even left of the first arrow, and let it hook in to the 2-4. Looks good. Nice shot. That was tougher than the strike.
Beautiful pickup.
Boy, that's a tough spare. There's just so many ways you can miss it. It's probably the toughest spare on the PBA Tour, one of them anyway.
Mike down 4 to Joe Salvemini. We're playing the 3rd frame from Denver. Delighted to have you with us.
See what kind of adjustment he makes. He was light on this left lane the first time, and now he went high on the right lane. So let's see if he moves a little bit left on this lane 61. Coming in light again, and gets a 3-pin to fall forward. An excellent break.
So the soft-spoken Mike Aulby, who's quite a guy, loves to collect those baseball cards. And he's got a spare in the third. 36 is his count. Let's pick up Joe.
Salvemini's ahead by 4, can increase it to 14 if he can double. Looks good. Right there. Pretty shot.
Really got some action on those pins. Beautiful double going for Joe Salvemini. He's up plus 14 if you score along with us. And we'll pick him up in the 4th frame. Salvemini, 29 years of age. His career earnings are $114,000.
Just a little bit behind Alby, isn't he?
Yes. Alby is buying tonight.
Trying for 3. Light. Oh, leaves the 3, 6, 7. I'm having trouble getting all these spare leaves turned around. Boy, what a big shot that was. He had a chance to go up by 24, and now if he misses this, he can go behind.
All right, how do you go after this one, Mike?
He wants to go on the right side of the 3-pin, nick the 3-pin, and send it over into the 7.
This is Joe Salvemini. Tough shot.
Has a chance, too much. 8 out. He's going to fall behind in the match.
All right, so we're underway between Alby and Salvemini. We'll be back with more action from Celebrity. Stick with us.
Hi, I'm Larry Holmes, the champion of all the world, and in this corner is Mordecai the jeweler, champion of all jewelers.
This beautiful lady's 14-karat gold and diamond heart pendant, $499. Men's 14-karat gold diamond cluster ring, just $279.
After 2 years, I still haven't found anyone can beat his prices.
If you find a lower price anywhere for the same quality merchandise, I'll refund the difference to you in cash.
And he's not pulling any punches.
Red McElvain at Sahara Nissan. Important, come out and comparison test drive 2 trucks. The Toyota, it's a good truck. Also, the 1985 Nissan, it's a better truck. Bigger payload, 5-speed transmission against a 4-speed transmission. And we've just learned from the factory they have extended the 8.8% APR through the month of June. That means you could save thousands of dollars in financing alone. Never a better time to buy a better truck than right now at Sahara Nissan, Sahara and Decatur, the people.
Welcome back, Irv Brown, Mike Durbin, here at Celebrity Sports Center. $25,000 to the person who can come up with a 300 game, and you've only had 14 of them. You got a good feeling?
But never won on television, I tell you.
True Value has given $25,000 away. All right, let's get back to action. Mike Aulby is 3 pins ahead of Joe Salvemini. He's got a strike going in the 4th.
You see how big that shot was. Salvemini could have gone up by 24. He opened, and he's down by 3. Alby now can go up by 13 if he can double. Looks good. Oh, I can't believe he left a solid 8-pin. The ball paired perfect. It just drove right through and chopped the 5 right straight off the 8. Unbelievable shot.
Take a look, Mike. Tell me what
happened. Watch the ball go through and chop the 5 straight off and drives right by that 8-pin. What a tap.
That's cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded. All right, going for the 8.
Oh, that's awful.
Alby in the 4th.
For the single pin spare, the 8-pin has it easily.
We mentioned that Mike is the guy who is making so much money. He could be and he will be the leading money winner after this set today. And we talked to him about it.
Well, it's really a nice thing to be at this point, but only at the end of the year is the only time it counts, so I really don't look at the money standings or title standings. I just go out and take it week by week.
You know, Mike, he makes a good point, because I think the true pro goes out there and he lets the money fall where it may, because the first thing is to win. Obviously, you got to pay your bills. We got a lot of rabbits. We got a lot of people in motorhomes you're leaving tonight, taking off. You know, it's tough, but it takes care of itself if you're good.
He's moved out further on the lane. What an adjustment. He moved left on the lane, got more out toward the channel, and drilled it into the 1-2 pocket.
So he's a +3 now. Let's take a look at this shot as he does move out, Mike.
See, he moves further left, closer to the channel. The ball goes further down the lane, still on about the 3rd board. Watch it come now. Has to come all the way up to the 17th board, which is the pocket, and does it.
Salvemini was open in the 4th.
High and slow, and gets another full penalty as the 2-7-8.
It's so tough. You throw that thing some 60 foot, hit a 1-inch object. You know, when you play golf, Mike, you know where the sand traps are, but you really don't know where the oil has been laid.
Well, no, you don't, but he knows where to throw for a strike right now. He is lined up to hit the pocket when he makes a good shot. The 2 shots that he hasn't hit the pocket have been errant shots, and he's had full penalty. Nice conversion. Makes that 2-7-8. What a shot.
He really needed that one. Needed something very positive after.
Keeps him within 3 pins.
He had the open in the 4th. Now the man who he's going against, Mike Aulby, has not had an open yet through 5. This is Joe Salvemini. Once again, a vicious competitor. That's the one thing I picked up being around him last night. Likes the game, believes he can beat anybody.
He believes, yeah, he believes in himself, that's for sure. Moved out a little further too, and gets that light strike. Bowlers are starting to get lined up now, Herb.
So Joe has 93 with a strike going in the 6th. He's down 3. Up with a strike. Mike Aulby in the 6th.
Alby has already used up his full allotment of re-racks. That's his 3rd re-rack he just took, and he's only in the 6th frame. So from now on, if he wants any more, he's going to have our tournament director, Harry Golden, come out and take a look at it. Be interesting, Irv, to see if he makes an adjustment on this right lane and moves out further like he did in the left lane.
Aulby working on a strike.
Now he keeps it around. The first arrow, he's high again. Goes over on the Brooklyn side. He might trips that 4-pin.
And he's got a double going. You might describe the Brooklyn or something.
Well, it's a crossover strike. I mean, where Mike Aulby wants to hit is in the 1-2 pocket, and he crossed over to my side, which is the 1-3, and they call that a Brooklyn. If you live in Brooklyn, they call it a Jersey. So
this guy does a lot with junior leaguers. I really like that. I think he gives something back to bowling. Very much interested in the youngsters.
Well, he's very appreciative of the game. He loves the sport, and you're right, he does like to give back to it. Big break there. He's ahead by 13. Can increase it to 23 with another strike.
All right, working on a double, 7th frame.
Way out there. Woo, did that come a long way?
Woo! Beautiful action, and working on a 3-baggers, Mike Aulby. We'll be back with more action right after this message.
You'll find savings worth celebrating. Big savings during CarQuest Auto Parts Store's really big 11th anniversary celebration. Big anniversary values like this personal AM/FM headphone stereo with dual volume controls, only $8.99. Or Rain Dance car wax, liquid or paste, guaranteed to last longer, just $1.99 after rebate. Save now during CarQuest's big 11th anniversary celebration.
CarQuest, the right place to buy auto parts.
Tomorrow, the 1985 U.S. Open tees off on your source for sports. It's live first-round coverage of one of golf's greatest championships. Then another Total Sports exclusive. See the first U.S. broadcast of the French Derby, plus a Belmont Stakes wrap-up. The U.S. Open and Down the Stretch tomorrow.
Friday night, the Denver Gold tries to run and shoot their way past Portland in live USFL action. ESPN has the league's best coverage Friday.
From the Mile High City, Irv Brown, Mike Durbin with you. Joe Salvemini is down 23. A strike going. We're in the 7th frame. And take a look at the money leaders here. Pete Weber, he was here going against his papa this week.
Yeah, he lost first time that Papa Weber beat him this week. And, of course, Mike Aulby going in with $116,000. We're going to have a lot of players go over 100,000. As you can see, Marshall Holman in 5th with 83 and David Ozio in 8th with 55. If he had a good last half of the year could get to 100.
Hey, who's that guy in the nice spot?
I don't know. He's sneaking into the top 10 some way, you know.
Steve Cook had to leave the tournament, had some problems.
His father was ill, I guess.
Well, we wish him well, and hopefully everything will be okay. As we mentioned, Joe Salvemini needs to do something here.
Down by 23, he must get something going. He saw Alby get that good break and crossover strike. He has to ignore that and get his own strike here. A little high, trips the 6-pin out of there. Gets his own good break. Cuts it to 13. Now one more can cut it to 3.
Working on a double. The guy who likes to compete, really believes in himself, high self-esteem.
Well, he's going to have to believe in himself right now because this is the pressure shot right now. He's got the match close. You know, he can get himself within 3 pins and put some heat on Alby if he can get one more here. Interesting thing about bowling is now you watch to see how the bowler responds to the pressure. See, and he didn't respond too well. Just no lift on the ball, left the 1, 3, 6, 7. The washout just did not get through the ball the way he wanted to. You want to have the ball come off your thumb first and lift with the fingers. He got no lift on that shot.
Boy, the picture tells 1,000 stories.
Sure does.
Pam a little disappointed.
He's still in the match. He must make this washout, though. He wants to go over to the right side of the head pin and drive the head pin into the 7 pin. Has a chance. Very good shot.
Beautiful.
Great shot. He said that he improved his spare shooting. He's made the 2, 7, 8 and the washout already.
Boy, you talk about needing it. He absolutely did. Let's take a look, Mike.
See, he does it classic way. The head pin, he goes to the right of the head pin. The head pin goes to the sideboard, comes back off the sideboard, and gets the 7. What really aggravates you, Irv, is when you cover it like that, and that head pin goes right around the 7 pin, and you miss it.
Working on a triple, 17 pins ahead in the 8th frame. This is Mike Aulby.
Alby's fate is in his own hands. He can really put the nails in Salvemini's coffin here with a couple of strikes. Somebody coughs in his backswing. Looks good.
He ain't gonna let anything bother Minnie.
Alby's, you know, he's got that quiet aggressiveness. When he throws it and it's a key strike and he's gonna get it, you'll hear him smack those hands every time.
4 in a row, up by 27. This is a guy who loves hockey. Talked to him at great length last night about hockey. We had a hockey team in this town for a while, and we lost it. He was wondering why. Mike Aulby.
He won a tournament earlier this year in Long Island, and right afterward he was out at the Coliseum watching the Islanders play, I think.
Started bowling when he was 11 years of age, and it's bowling. It's strictly bowling. Plays a little golf, but this is his love. And when you approach $500,000 in career earnings, you can see why he loves it.
Yes, you can. Trying for 5. He's high. On the Brooklyn again. That's 2 of them.
When you're hot, you're hot. Beautiful.
Alby's had all the breaks in this match. Salvemini's had some breaks, but most of them have been bad. 37-pin difference. Salvemini has to strike out to have any chance. It really has no chance. I mean, even if he strikes out and Alby would open, Alby would still win the match. Trips that 6-pin out of there.
So Joe picks up a strike. He's got his work cut out. It would probably take a total collapse by Alby.
Well, you'd have to throw it in the channel or something. He would have to foul or something, some disastrous thing. Even a split, he would still win the match. However, if he got a big enough split, I mean, where he really lost a lot of count.
2 opens really hurt him back in.
To have any chance, though, to have any chance, Salvemini must strike on the next 2 shots. Has to have this one. Looks good. 7.
He leaves a 7. Guy from Novato, California. 1984, he earned $46,000. He's married. His wife's name is Pam. He averaged .218 this week.
Nice average. That's good bowling for 42 games.
He's down 37.
Cross lane, the 7-pin, throws it straighter at it, flattens it out, makes it easily. I can see he has improved his spare shooting.
Mike Aulby and Joe Salvemini.
Didn't realize, I don't think, that it was the 10th frame.
He's got one more.
Yeah.
So he's going to wind up with 190 something. And that's not going to be enough.
But he'll take home a good paycheck for this week's effort. It's a good way to start the summer.
Very nice. 199 for Joe Salvemini.
You don't have to tackle that name anymore.
Oh, boy. We'll just call him Joe S. So Mike Aulby, who's hit 5 in a row.
But it's been a fortuitous 5 in a row, to say the least.
He was all over the place yesterday. Still won 7 times. Oh, beautiful.
6 in a row.
He's cooking. He has the 3 spares. Everything else, they're putting the X by his name. Mike Aulby.
He gets one more and he'll be in the 250s, or right now he's going to be in the 240s no matter what. A very credible showing. But he's going to need to bowl if we get this unknown quantity in the next match, Tom Kreitz. Trying for one more. Right there. Knocks that 7-pin out. You see that 7-pin snap out there at the end? When a bowler does that, or if you know that he got his good lift on the fingers, because that 4-pin went to the wall instead of dying there, it came out and got that 7-pin. So it means they had good roll, good lift with his fingers.
So all that's left is just what in the number will be in the 250s. Mike Aulby has won this match. He'll advance and face Tom Kreitz. And he has come out, been perfect in every frame. He does not have an open. Well, he leaves a 7, but a great score, and the fans really appreciate it. 255, the traditional handshake, and Mike Aulby, a winner over Joe Salvemini. 255 to 199. So there's the score. The story here from Celebrity Sports Center. 5 versus 4. And it'll be Alby going against the rookie, the young lion, Tom Kreitz. That's coming up right after this message.
A lot of us have a dream stuck somewhere in the back of our minds about a country house, a farm, a cabin, or business of our own. Finding that dream has been United Farm specialty for more than 60 years. They're not like other real estate companies that just show you what they have. They'll help you find what you want. And it all starts with this, a personal selection of just those kinds of properties. Call for yours today, and maybe tomorrow, it won't be just a dream.
When do you say L.A.?
I love parties. Big ones, small ones, I like them because I'm the life of the party. My idea of a good time is not sleeping with a lot of coats. I say L.A. at parties. It's a great tasting premium beer from Anheuser-Busch with half the alcohol. Sometimes it's the perfect thing to say. So I can have fun and I won't end up sleeping with the coats.
Hi, George.
Nice coat. I might change my mind. Hi.
L.A. Sometimes it's the perfect thing to say.
After years of research, the high-tech laboratories of Columbia 300 have created the most advanced urethane bowling ball ever made, the 100% urethane Columbia 300 U-Dot. The extraordinary U-Dot solves the inherent problems of lope and wobble. Its devastating pin power and superior lane control characteristics are unequaled. If you bowl to win, the Columbia 300 U-Dot is the ultimate weapon. It's like no ball ever made before. Sold only in lanes and pro shops.
Hey, Bobby, toss me the flashlight.
Here, catch.
One reason why a Durbin flashlight is so dependable is because it's so incredibly rugged. Another reason is it comes with Duracell batteries that'll work, even after lying around unused for 2 years.
I can't believe you threw that. You said toss me the flashlight.
Durbin from Duracell. It really works when you need it.
Join ESPN Wednesday, June 19th. We travel to Seattle, Washington for the second stop on the PBA Summer Tour, the $115,000 Seattle Open, one of the oldest tournaments going. It should be terrific. All the leading money winners expected to compete. Guy we've been watching, Mike Aulby, Jim Baker, Pete Weber, Wayne Webb. Find out who strikes it rich at the $115,000 Seattle Open. It's live Wednesday, June 19th, 8 o'clock Eastern, here on your source for sports, ESPN. Well, Joe Salvemini picked up a nice little check, $4,000. What kind of expenses are you looking at? Normal living, not eating caviar, you know, eating that racetrack turkey, hot dogs. What are you talking about?
You've got to figure, you know, the rooms nowadays are costing anywhere from $35 to $45 sometimes, you know, for a double. It depends whether you're staying with your wife like Joe is. you're talking about a $180 entry fee. You're talking about whether you're flying or driving. I would guess the expenses for most of the guys are close to $700 a week. And so he's made a profit this week of about $3,300. But, you know, if he goes 3 or 4 weeks without cashing, suddenly he's in the hole again. So it's a rough life out here. You've got to make money. You've got to consistently perform. And I think the key is that you have to win. In order, if you're married especially, in order to be successful in the PBA Tour and to show a profit, you must win.
Do a lot of the fellas have sponsors because they just cannot come up with it themselves?
I would say the great majority of them, especially the new players coming out, have sponsors. A lot of the veterans wind up working out deals where they can sponsor themselves or at least have a good portion of themselves.
What a handsome young guy we're watching here, Tom Kreitz. He's 23 years of age. A rabbit, and you might explain because everybody talks about the rabbits.
Well, it's called the PTQ, or the Pro Tour Qualifier. That is a tournament held prior to our tournament the day before in order to qualify. We have a number of exempt players in our field, and most fields have 160 players, and we wind up having about 80 to 90 exempt players. There's various ways that you can become exempt: from your bowling the previous year, from making the money for the week before, from winning a tournament. All these things can make you exempt for the following week or the following year. One of the players that are not exempt have to try and qualify. By the way, these players are not getting score right now. These are practice shots that they're taking, getting warmed up. The player coming on gets 4 practice balls as he's coming on, 2 on each lane. But in any case, the Pro Tour Qualifier started several years ago. We have a lot of rabbits out on the tour, similar to what golf had a few years ago. They've gone to an all-exempt tour now, and they have to qualify in order to get into the tournament.
Here's what we're shooting for. We mentioned $4,000 has been decided. Joe Salvemini. The top prize today, $16,000. Second, we'll earn $8,200. $6,000 for third, $5,000 for fourth, and we're ready to go.
And Mike Aulby will be starting the match at 8 strikes in winning that last match. So 8 out of 12 is not bad.
All you viewers from Indianapolis, Indiana ought to be very proud of this guy. That's his hometown, and we're set.
Playing around the third board on that lane. Kind of pointed it up that time. What happens a lot of times is the bowler's shoulder drops down a little bit. Instead of keeping that shoulder up, his left shoulder in this case, it lowers a little bit, and the ball gets set just a little bit right of his target, and it was headed right up to the nose. It's called laying the ball short. Didn't get it out to where he wanted it.
Trying to pick up the 2-4, Mike Aulby. 5'8", 145. Does size really matter? Here's a guy who's going to be the all-time, or the leading money winner after this tournament.
Converts that spare.
Let's take a
watch Alby throw the shot. Watch his left shoulder now. He looks good in this position. Now watch it drop down just a little bit low there, and the ball's right of his target. And watch what happens. Instead of the ball going longer there, it hooks a little early, right through the heart of the pins, leaving that 2-4.
This is Tom Kreitz, 23 years of age.
And his first shot on national television couldn't be any better.
He did a great job. Now, he is the rookie, as we have mentioned many times, Mike, and I had a chance to talk to him about that situation.
Well, it probably makes a little bit of difference. The guys have had some experience on TV, but I feel like once it gets to a one-game match, anything can happen, and I can hold my own with anybody.
Sounds confident, doesn't he?
He's strong, Mike. He used to lift. Talking about lifting weights, does not do that anymore, but he works out very hard, an hour a day, and it shows. He's got a good physique and very strong. He was really cranking yesterday.
Right over about the 7th board, high. See, that follow-through, when he let that ball go, he just kind of spun his thumb and fingers off, and they came off at the same time. Instead of the follow-through extending on through, he just kind of chucked that shot. It's like in basketball, just throwing up a chuck instead of rolling it off your fingers and getting that good roll.
Can you adjust? Can you feel yourself having a problem, or does somebody have to tell you that, hey, Mike, you're letting the thumb out?
Well, in that situation, like any pro bowler, he knows that he made an errant shot that time, and it's only nerves causing it. He wanted the double. He wanted to get out ahead. Going for the 3-6-10 cross lane, tough spare here. And goes by it, misses the 3. Just didn't hook back and leaves the 3-pin.
So he's open in the second. His pin count is 28, and he's down 12. Let's pick up Mike Aulby, who rolled a 255 with 8 strikes in his first match. Alby's 1985 average is 212, as I mentioned this week, 220.
Anytime you average 220 on the tour, you expect to make some money. Over about the 6th board. Comes in, light, and gets that 7-pin out. An old tender touch right there.
He's tough. I wanted to ask you now, he has had to start from minute 1. He finished 5th. He's got to go all the way to Baker. Is that an advantage, getting more action in?
Sometimes I believe it is. I've been fortunate in my career to go from the 5th or 4th place position up to number 1 several times. And there is a momentum that you gain. And it seems to carry with you. Alby knows how to bowl on television. He knows how to pace himself. He's ahead by 12, can increase it to 22 if he can double here. This has been his tougher lane, lane 61. Gives this one more room. And that's the result.
Great action off the sideboard.
Right, exactly right. Those sideboards are important, or without them, we wouldn't get too many strikes.
So a double going, and now Kreitz really has to do something. He was open in the 2nd. 28 is his count. He's down 22 pins, 3rd frame.
See how important that 2nd frame was to him. If he gets the double, he's out ahead by 10. Now, time he gets up to bowl again, he's staring at a 22-pin deficit. Very square game, 4 steps. Better shot. Ooh, almost left the 9-pin.
Excellent action.
His timing is what I would call just slightly late in the timing. And what I mean by that is that he gets the ball down in his 2nd step and his 3rd step just a little later than the quote book says that you should do it. However, there are, even though there are guidelines in bowling, as we see the solid strike, and almost the 9-pin. Watch this pin come off the wall.
It's something.
There are guidelines in bowling, but bowlers find ways to score with all different kinds of forms.
1983 collegiate bowling team. He was the captain, so he's a leader.
Gives this one more room. And gets his first double.
Right back in
Gets
it.
into that lead.
Absolutely, right back in it. He is down 12. Tom Kreitz going against Mike Aulby. We'll come back, pick up the action right after this message.
Hi, Red McElvain at Sahara Nissan. This is a Toyota truck. Cost $59.98. Nissan truck. Cost $59.99. It's $1 more. But look what that $1 will get you. As you can see, there's a big difference. Steel-belted radial tires, double-wall bed, 5-speed transmission, bigger payload. There'll never be a better time to buy a better truck. Only at Sahara Nissan, Sahara and Decatur, the people you can trust. Come in and let us stretch your dollar.
It began as a dream for R.A. Homes founder Hal Ober. Shadow Hills. A dream every builder has, to build a community of luxury homes on oversized lots and include all the best features usually found in custom homes. But the best part of the dream is the price. Now you can enjoy custom lifestyle living starting in the low 100s. Shadow Hills.
Where we both can share our dreams.
Starting June 29th, ESPN renews America's love affair with the 1984 Summer Olympic Games. For 16 consecutive days, we'll bring you all the excitement, the thrills, the heroes who made headlines in Los Angeles. You're going to see Mary Lou Retton, Edwin Moses, Greg Louganis, and many other athletes in their medal-winning performances, plus the color and pageantry of the opening and closing ceremony. It's going to be great. Stick with us. It's all on ESPN.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Oh, that was fun. Right now.
I watched a lot of the Olympics at that time, but I missed a few things. I'd like to see that.
It is good. Well, Mike Aulby has not had an open today. We've completed one game. We're in the fourth frame, that is. He leads Kreitz by 12.
Can increase it to 22 with one more. Looks good. Pretty shot. Beautiful. He's really wired in on lane 62.
He is going to be tough to beat. He's up 22, a triple going. Action in the 5th frame.
You look for that re-rack. I think he's asked for another re-rack. He looked at that rack carefully. Yep, he's asking for another re-rack on lane 61. And I'm sitting behind him. The pocket is what we call a little bit closed on lane 61. In other words, the 1 and 2 pins are a little bit closer together than he would like to see him. What he's worried about with that custom is coming into the 1-2 pocket and leaving the soft 7-pin or the flat 7-pin.
You're allowed 3. Mike Aulby has no superstitions. And I'm going to ask you about yours, Mike, because I know you have some.
Trying for one more. High trips that 6-pin out of there.
That's 4 in a row.
4 in a row. And a big lead, a 32-pin lead. He's really put the pressure on young Kreitz.
So Tommy Kreitz, a straight roller or a cranker. He just seems to adjust. I've watched him do both in the 2 days here.
Seems to be a very positive young man, sure of himself and confident of his own ability.
Oh, what a future, though. 23 years of age.
Trying for 3. A little bit slow. Lane 62 seems to be hooking a little bit more for him than 61.
So he leaves a 4-pin. He's down 32.
If he makes this, it'll be one more. Digging a hole for himself. Not really through his own poor efforts, but Alby's throwing strikes like he did that first match.
Mike was really concerned yesterday because he was all over the place, yet he was winning.
Sometimes it goes that way. Hard and straight. Woo! Almost missed it.
Picks it up. His count is 77. He trails by 33. Action in the 6th frame. We're in Denver. The first of our 12 stops. We'll be everywhere. Better bring your suntan lotion. We'll be in Tucson.
Yes, my wife's coming out in Vegas in a couple of weeks, and we're looking forward to going through on to Tucson. Tucson's one of our favorite stops.
We'll be in Riverside, California. Best bowlers in the world. And here's young Tom Kreitz, and he needs a run, and he needs a little help from Mike Aulby.
Trying for something. Leaves that soft 10-pin. Nice shot. Ball just came in a little bit behind the pocket, a little bit behind the head pin, and the 6-pin just laid down in the channel.
His count is 96. Spare going into 6, needs to pick up the 10-pin. Tom Kreitz, we asked him about his goals. He said to be voted Sporting News PBA Rookie of the Year.
He's got a lofty goal right out of the gate, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like that.
He's confident. He sounds. I'm surprised he doesn't say Bowler of the Year right away. Yeah.
And he gets the 10.
Makes the 10-pin. Hard and straight.
All right, this is Harry Golden. You might explain what Mike is asking for here.
Mike is asking for another re-rack, and he's exceeded his allowed number of 3. It looks to me, again, like there's a slightly closed pocket. In other words, the 1 and the 2 are slightly close together from what Mike wants. See, he's ahead at this point, and he doesn't want something bad to happen, a pocket 7-10 or a pocket 7-9, something bad like that that would put Kreitz back in the match. He didn't like this one either, but Golden told him to shoot it. He says, that's it, you shoot this one, baby.
So Harry is not going to be popular, but that's his job. He must make the tough decision. All right, Alby has been tough. He opened with a spare. Since that time, it is all X's. He has 4 in a row. 6th frame.
And it must have been the right rack. He kind of stares at it, says, take that.
Great action. That's 5 in a row, and he has a commanding 44-pin lead over Tom Kreitz, who is not bowled that bad. He's been overwhelmed.
See, we're already getting into if you can do it with a pencil. And if you look at the score, there were 96 in the 5th and a spare up. The best Tom Kreitz can do if he strikes all the way out is 236. Right now, Alby is going at a 239 pace, you know. So he'd have to have Alby, something bad happen to him and him strike out. And when you get in that situation, it doesn't look good.
Mike, are you saying if somebody's going to go get something to eat, now would be the time?
No, I'm not saying that at all. Trying for one more, and he's got it. 6 in a row.
Beautiful sideboard action. Well, that's 6 in a row for Mike Aulby, the guy who bowled a 255 in the first match. We'll come back with more action. Alby and Kreitz right after this message.
The upset of the week is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need. On the red clay of Roland Garros Stadium, Chris Everett Lloyd and Martina Navratilova met yet again, the finals of the French Open. It was a classic. Everett Lloyd upsetting Navratilova 6-3, 6-7, 7-5. For Chris, a record-tying 6th title at the French Open, one that lifted her once again to the #1 spot in the women's tennis rankings. Chris Everett Lloyd in 3 sets over Martina at the French Open, the Pepto-Bismol upset of the week.
The Tuesday Night Bowling League is about to start.
They'll stuff themselves with pepperoni pizza and hoagies.
But soon, that's going to catch up with them. Whether it's Cliff's heartburn or Paul's upset stomach, the one that coats is the only one they need, Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, it relieves heartburn, upset stomach, even relieves diarrhea. Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need.
ESPN has television's best sports lineup Saturday. Swing into action with the exciting 1985 Echelon Racquetball Championships. Then cast off for back-to-back fishing expeditions. Make Outdoors TV Magazine and Mark Sosin's Saltwater Journal your catch of the day. And pro football's all-time single-season rushing leader goes for more. Herschel Walker takes the New Jersey Generals against Oakland live. It's all Saturday, only on ESPN.
You want me to pick right up? And a look at some of the other finishers. David Ozio, he looked pretty good, did a good job.
David won St. Louis here. Tom Baker's a former Denver champion. Dick Weber's a Hall of Famer
Class
there.
Guy.
Henry Gonzalez, a local favorite around the area here. See some of the other finishers there. Jim Miller's been bowling well.
One of my favorites, Brad Bowling. He's at least 20 years
for
of
it,
age.
doesn't he? Right. Yeah.
Of age.
Pete Weber, our leading money winner going into this week. It looks like Alby's going to pass him, and Soper holds up the rest of the field there.
And we mentioned that Dick Weber finally beat Pete. He said that has never happened before. That's what we're looking at, and of course, Alby is pretty much assured of at least picking up $6,000 unless something wild happens here. They're all going for 16.
Right. They're all. There's a lot of difference between 4 at the bottom and that and 16
Yeah.
at the top. You know.
Tom Kreitz, and he is unfortunately going against a guy right now who is in dead stroke, as they say. Same term we use in billiards, because Alby has been perfect. All right, Tommy's working on a spare, 7th frame. Down 54.
And he's in the must-strike situation to even have a chance at all. He's going high, crosses over, leaves the 6-10. It's really a tough situation. You come out and you bowl in your first game on national television. The guy starts with spare and 6 in a row. I remember back in 1967, the first time I made the show was in Edison, New Jersey, and I bowled Nelson Burton Jr., and he played one lane around the first arrow, the other lane the 4th arrow, and he started out with the first 6 at me, and I bowled 160. So
The bow is smooth. All right, is this a tough spare, the 6-10?
No, it's generally not. The only danger is chopping the 6 off the 10, and he doesn't do that. He hits both ends of the ball.
Tom Kreitz. His nickname, obviously, TC, single. Likes to play racquetball. He is down 56 pins. There will be another day for this young man.
He's got a lot of promise, and he bowled exceptionally well yesterday, better than anybody in the field yesterday.
His outside occupation, Mike, he is a lithographer. Do a lot of the pro bowlers hold other jobs?
Usually, not at that young an age. Usually, they wait till they get older and they get a bowling center or they get a pro shop or something of that nature. Kind of bounced that ball.
Yeah. Had a problem.
Well, he heard someone speak off to his right, and he kind of gives him the evil eye here.
3-6 is his pickup, working on a spare. We're in the 8th frame. Down 56 pins. Tom Kreitz. He's from Tampa, Florida. He has earned $5,400 this year in 13 tournaments. His career earnings, $20,000.
At the 3-6, has the spare.
So he picks it up, and Mike Aulby working on 6 in a row, 8th frame.
The best Kreitz can do is it's 2-12, and while Alby doesn't have that yet, as far as if he would throw the rest of them in the channel or something like that, it's all but over.
Mike bowls 70 to 100 practice games a week.
That's
He
a
just
lot of
is
games.
relentless.
One more. He had 8 strikes the last game. He's got 7 in a row this game. He had 7 in a row the last game.
Got a check sitting in front of me for $25,000 from True Value. You take
Boy,
away
if he'd
that
had
first frame.
that first frame, yeah.
He'd be in good shape. He's already had 2 this week.
Yeah, he's proved that when he gets them going, he can keep it going. That's right.
He has 14 in his career, same number as a guy I know sitting next to me. If you're wondering,
he's
Tommy
a little
Kreitz,
younger, though.
Tom Kreitz has 7 all in league play. All right, going for 8 in a row. Mike Aulby.
Tie. On the Brooklyn.
And the 7 stands.
Again, he just, any trouble he has is with lane 61. He's not having a whole lot of trouble with it, but
that's a nice run, 7 in a row.
250 the last game. He's in the 250s this game. cross lane at the 7-pin. If there's any single pin spare that gives Mike a little trouble, it is the 7-pin. He missed a couple of them a couple years ago in Paris to lose a tournament.
Is that standard for left-handers, or is that just his particular deal?
Well, I never saw Earl Anthony miss too many of them.
Remember when Earl wore that crew cut, just went out and destroyed people?
Well, he did it when he had the hair long,
That's right.
too, I'll tell you.
Okay, Tommy Kreitz. Spare going. This is the 9th frame. He's down 67.
And the match is over. Alby already has 229. If he doesn't show up for the 10th frame, the best Kreitz can get is 212. So he's going to chalk this one off to experience and say, well, you know, at least I got there. A lot of other guys didn't. Crosses over again, leaves the 10-pin. As he said, it's a one-game match, and anything can happen in a one-game match, but he ran into somebody that was throwing a lot of X's.
Dead stroke. It's going to be a good little payday, though, for him. Mike, he'll pick up $5,000, and when you've only earned $5,400 this year.
Just about doubled his earnings, right? Has that 10-pin. Interesting. Alby says he has no superstitions because he switches chairs there.
Maybe he's getting one. Still studying, still concentrating.
Well, no, it wasn't a superstition. What he did, he went over to look at the rack. He's just trying to save a little time. He went over to look at the rack, see if he needed to re-rack.
Alby will advance to play Mike Edwards. Right now, this is Tommy Kreitz finishing up.
Leaves the 310, just finishing out the string here.
Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Tom Barger, general manager of Celebrity Sports Center, has done a great job. We've had good crowds. Good crowd last night. Big crowd here tonight. There's so many things that go on at this center.
They have a lot of
swimming,
things. Swimming pool here. They've got
fun center.
Fun center downstairs. Yes. At the 310, has
beautiful.
it.
One more ball. He'll bowl a 180 something.
189 with a strike.
Tom Kreitz from Tampa, Florida, loves the beach. This is the first time he's bowled in the PBA event here in Denver. First time in celebrity. See if he can end it with a strike.
It's nothing but problems. 187 is his final score.
Mike Aulby shakes hands with him. He didn't embarrass himself at all. Tom Kreitz, I like him.
Alby's potential is 269 if you get 3 strikes in the 10th. Right now, he's just looking to maintain what he's already done. You know, just
stay in dead stroke.
Not lose concentration. Keep himself ready for the next match.
What's interesting is we wind this one down, Mike, in the early qualifications. Boy, it's so important that you go over that 200 pin mark, because you might talk a little bit about that, how you lose pins, how you gain
Well, the
pins.
PBA scoring system, we use 200 as a par. Anything above 200 is counted plus. For example, if I would start the tournament out and bowl 225, I would be considered plus 25. But if I came back the next game and bowl 190, I would lose 10, so my combined score would be plus 15 for the 2 games, as Alby tries for one more and gets it. He's not missed the right lane. He's playing the right lane around the 6th board, the 5th board in that area, and playing the left lane right down about the 2nd board. He's playing both lanes differently, but it sure has been effective. Had 8 strikes last game and improved on that this game.
Last frame, and he does not have an open in 2 games. He advanced by beating Joe Salvemini. Now has defeated Tom Kreitz. He'll be taking on Mike Edwards next. And waiting is a guy by the name of Mark Baker. Beautiful. Great game. 269. Had a 255 the first time out. And he still has the court, as they say. He will not give it up. There's the story, Mike Aulby.
Get that momentum going. You want to keep it going. 10 strikes.
Dead stroke. Mike Aulby. All right, coming up, Mike Aulby going against Mike Edwards. All of that on ESPN right after this message.
This is the GOT 16-quart cooler. It's better insulated than any other cooler of its size. In the bottom, the sides, even on top. And because the GOT 16 is better insulated, it does a better job keeping things cold. The GOT 16, it's the colder cooler.
This Father's Day, get Dad a gift he can really use from True Value Hardware Store's Father's Day Circular. Like the ever-ready economy lantern that's perfect for camping or emergencies, just $2.99, including a 6-volt battery. For Dad's do-it-yourself projects, give him the Master Mechanic 16-foot power tape, only $7.39, or the Thermal Grip electric glue gun for just $9.99. You'll find these and other great gift ideas at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
Well, if you like the action tonight, you're going to love what we've got in Seattle, and you've bowled a little bit against some of those folks. We'll be in Seattle. How's Don? Is he pretty tough?
Oh, Don Janello is one of the toughest on television that you'll ever see. He gets in those 1-2 game matches like that, and he just doesn't lose. I think I had a list of my top 5 toughest match play opponents. Don Janello was in that top 5.
All right, and then we keep going because we've got more good stuff coming up. How about the Kessler Open? You've had a chance to go against Wayne Webb.
Well, Wayne Webb last year beat me twice, went on to win the title both times. I figured that if I could have gotten by him, I would have won 2 more titles last year, but he's tough on television also.
Pretty good name of the fellow who owns that bowling.
No greater name in the sport of bowling than Earl Anthony.
And then we're going down to Las Vegas, and I'm going to watch you close down there because I don't want you getting in any trouble. We got a couple guys who know what's going on.
Well, you can monitor me all you want, and I'll be right there. You know, Gil Sliker and I won that tournament a few years ago, and so we're looking forward to going back. And Gil's been in a little bit of a slump, but we're going to break out of it there.
There you go, the Showboat Bowling Center in Las Vegas. July 10th will be in Southern California. Gary Skidmore. How tough is Gary? That's the last one that we'll talk about for tonight only. How tough is Gary?
Well, Gary Skidmore is a very confident young man. He's come from being a rabbit player to being an established star in our sport, and anytime that he gets on television, he seems to like the limelight, seems to like the spotlight there, and he does well. In that particular tournament, I think he went all the way from 4th right on up, and he defeated Marshall Holman to win the title. Or he defeated Marshall Holman in rout. I think he wound up beating Joe Salvemini to win that title. But Gary Skidmore is a fine young player, very aggressive, very confident.
One of my favorite portions of the show, we work Mike very hard, giving you some great bowling tips. We'll have this. It's a weekly feature. Here's Mike Durbin on how he's going to improve your game.
Our first tip on our ESPN telecast is really geared to the bowler that's just starting the sport of bowling. It may be a junior bowler taking it up at a young age, or maybe an adult going down to bowl in a mixed couples league for the first time. And the tip is simply a list of the do's and don'ts of the sport of bowling. And I thought we'd get the negative things out of the way first and talk about the don't list first. And the first don't is that when it's my turn to bowl and I'm going to get up on the approach, don't get up there while there's somebody up on your adjacent lane ready to bowl. In other words, if I'm going to bowl on lane 2 and there's a bowler up on lane 3 aiming for their shot, don't get up. Don't even put your foot up on the approach because they might see it with their peripheral vision. Just give them the common courtesy to wait until they make their shot. Then I can get up on the approach and it's my turn to bowl. After I make my shot, I may not like what I got at the end, and I may be staring at the pins or something. Don't stay at the foul line an excessively long period of time because, again, it's not courteous to your fellow bowlers. See what you get, turn around and come back. On the other hand, I may like what I get. I may be getting a strike, and I may want to run that strike out. Well, if I do, stay within your own lane. Don't try and run it out over here on lane 3 because you may get mowed down by the bowler coming up for his or her shot. The next don't is don't bring food or drink into the bowling area. You bring a Coke or a beer down and you spill it, somebody steps in it, they could stick and hurt themselves badly. And this next don't is very, very important. If you're having trouble with sticky approaches, never, and I repeat, never use powder as an adjustment for tacky approaches. If you're having trouble, go to the counter, They'll give you what they call slipstick or something that you can put on your shoe that'll help you. If you use powder, somebody else could step in it, slip, fall, hurt themselves badly. The last don't is don't loft your ball way out on that lane. You want to get the ball over the foul line, but you can damage that lane by lofting it out too far. Well, bowling is not all negative. It's not just don'ts. There's some do's, too. And our list of do's starts, first of all, by getting your own equipment. You want to have your own ball, your own bag, and your own shoes. What this does is it personalizes the game for you. It enhances your commitment to the sport of bowling, and it just makes it more enjoyable for you. So the first do is get your own equipment. The next do is, when you're bowling, be ready to bowl when it's your turn. Slow bowling is a big problem within the sport of bowling. You want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. The next do is to use a ball that you can handle. By that, I mean the proper weight. I use a full 16-pound ball because I can handle that. However, as I get older and start approaching senior citizen age, I think I'm going to drop down in weight to a 15 or maybe even a 14 because I'll be able to handle it better. Junior bowlers coming up should definitely start with light balls. And women many times like to start with about a 12-pound ball. So use a ball that you can handle. The final do is learn how to keep score. Once you know how to keep score, then the game is far more enjoyable to you. You know what's going on. There are booklets at the counter that'll help you to learn this. In conclusion, bowling is a sport that can be enjoyed seriously and also at the social level. But all of us enjoy it more when we abide by the simple rules and the do's and don'ts of the sport. For our next tip, we'll be talking about choosing that right ball. We'll see you then.
All right, we've got some great action coming up after those excellent tips. Good job, Mike. We've got Mike Edwards going against Mike Aulby right after this.
Hi, I'm Larry Holmes. I could afford to buy my jewelry anywhere, but at the jewelers, I get the quality, I get the price, I get the service. They're really a knockout.
Men's 14-karat gold nugget ring is just $129. This beautiful ladies' 14-karat gold and diamond heart pendant is a low $499.
The jewelers is the only place to buy your jewelry.
If you find a lower price anywhere for the same quality merchandise, I'll refund the difference to you in cash.
And he's not pulling any punches.
You know those good times, they keep rolling on at the showboat, they keep rolling on. The showboat, that's where you belong in Las Vegas. The showboat, come on along to where the fun goes on and on. Good times are rolling at the showboat. The showboat.
Television's #1 network for live auto racing coverage has something for every racing fan in July. If cart's your thing, catch the Budweiser Cleveland Grand Prix. It's Sunday, July 7th, live at 12:30 Eastern. And don't miss our live coverage of NASCAR's Summer 500 on July 21st at 1 o'clock Eastern. Boy, this is going to be great. We've got 2 live Formula One thrillers on tap. The French Grand Prix on Sunday, July 7th, beginning at 7 a.m. And the British Grand Prix, July 21st, beginning live at 9:30 a.m. You an auto racing fan?
No, I never really got into auto racing seriously or enthusiastically. Mike Edwards taking a practice shot there just went over the foul line. That's got to unnerve him just a little bit. I think I'd like to take this time right now to say and wish good wishes to Ida Cadell. Ida Cadell's wife of Cecil Cadell, who's our Southwest Regional Director. She had a stroke and surgery, but the prognosis is good. So Cecil and Ida, our prayers are with you and best wishes.
Here's our new fella that this is the gentleman we talked about. Look at the size of him, 6'1", 190. He was a high school linebacker. Mentioned earlier, Mike, he played with Spencer Tillman. Still looks like he could stick you a little bit with those pads.
Yeah, he does. I'll tell you what, he can stick those pins on there sometimes.
Well, he has been tough. He's only 23 years of age, from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He has earned $24,000 this year. His career earnings are $72,000. I was really impressed watching him yesterday.
Just watch the way he goes through the ball. I mean, his hand comes through that ball so quick and so clean, as opposed to Kreitz, who's a more deliberate player, more deliberate hand release.
I like this boy's hand release just much better.
Hard power stroke, just right there.
Power, aggressive. He's got good speed. Good concentration as he eyes that target.
Mike Edwards, and he has got his work cut out. Hate to use a cliche, but Mike Aulby has been perfect. No opens in 2 games. All he did was have 7 in a row against young Tom Kreitz. Oh, you got a lot of young people on this tour.
This show is young. The oldest guy on this show is 29 years old. I mean, everybody else is under 25.
It's young man worlds, Mike.
Interesting that Edwards is allowing Alby to finish on lane 62, where he didn't miss the last game. Edwards wants to finish evidently on lane 61, but personally, if it were my choice, I'd make Alby finish on 61 because he'd have more trouble with that lane.
All right, let's see if the left-hander keeps it up. He has been perfect.
Right down about that second board, he's going high. Crosses over and gets a runaway Brooklyn. Woo! A reverse blower almost.
Nothing to it for Mike Aulby. Let's take a look at him. Let you describe it.
I mean, this shot was so far off, it was in the other fairway. Now watch the head pin go to the wall. Where's the 5-pin go? I think the 3-pin hit the 5-pin, and pins are just bouncing around that 7 and knock it over.
All right, here's Mike Edwards.
So far, Alby's had all the breaks. As Edwards comes up light on 62, leaves the 2-pin.
First frame, if you just joined us, for Edwards going after the 2.
And that's the first frame I think he's thrown on television since he left that 4-9 against me, and he made sure that one didn't go high.
We talked about that in the Open. His nickname is Eddie Haskell. What's that all about?
I really don't know from where he got that nickname. And Eddie Haskell, you know, is from the Leave It to Beaver series, is he just barely makes the 2-pin. Maybe he's got that kind of personality. You know, Eddie Haskell was that rascal who kind of poked fun at everybody.
Well, you know, we talked a little bit about the 4-9 just a moment ago, and I asked him about this. I wanted to kid him a little bit. Let's see what Mike has to say about that 4-9 he left.
No, not really, because I'm not bowling against him. But I haven't really thought about it lately. It kind of hurt me after I did leave it. But I'm not going to worry about it. Mike's still a friend of mine. I don't, every so often, I do leave the 4-9, but I'm not going to worry about it tonight.
He didn't leave a 4-9 there because he got them all.
Didn't leave anything there.
What tournament are we talking about when it cost him?
Grand Prairie, Texas. It was the 4th tournament of the winter, and Mike led the tournament by an enormous amount, by about 300 pins. He ran away with it. And we had a very tight match, and he just needed a mark in the 10th frame and threw a great shot and left that 4-9 and was unable to convert it and lost.
Second frame, Alby with a strike going.
Alby's going to be a little high. He was inside his target that time and missed the lane 62. He's aiming for about the 6th or 5th board. He got it in around the 7th board that time.
Leaves left 2-4.
Right. So far, every time Alby's made a mistake, he's either gotten a strike, he's had 3 Brooklyns so far already, or he's broken up the split. No penalties. You know, that's just, and sometimes that's just the rub of the green, as they say. It's just how the breaks are going, and right now they're all going Alby's way.
Interesting. His goals, we asked him, he said, I want to be as consistent as I can, win as many titles as I can. That's fair. Picks it up.
Well, I'll tell you, but before he's done, he's going to win a lot of them. What's he? He's got, how many does he have already?
Well, he's closing in on $500,000, and he's been in the PBA 6 years. All he's got is 9 titles, 14 300 games. He's had 2 this week.
You know, also off to the side, Mark Baker is waiting to bowl the winner of this match, and I just can't help but think that Mark Baker is rooting for Mike Edwards in this match, because the only time Mark Baker ever led a tournament was last year in Indianapolis, and guess who beat him?
I think I know.
Mike Aulby beat him, right.
Spare
Going
work.
high again, and another Brooklyn leaves the 6-pin, or the 4-pin, didn't carry this time, and suddenly he's a little break in between games, and he's lost his concentration or lost something on this lane 61.
Mike, let's talk about that, because we had a pause to do some things. We went through your tips. Is that what has thrown him off? Or?
I really do. I really think that just that little delay, you know, sometimes it just breaks that magic that you had going. And right now he needs to regroup, to reconcentrate, and to get his act back together.
He still is perfect as far as frames. Does not have an open tonight.
But that's not through any fault of his own, because he has not put the ball in the pocket yet.
Well, what about Mike Edwards, the high school linebacker from Edison High School in Tulsa? His father, Jim, started in bowling when he was 4 years, just 4 years of age. Grade 7 through 11. He quit, though, Mike. He went to other sports.
Uh-oh, another bad break. He had the 2-4-5-7, and pin came off the wall, knocked the 2-pin out of there, leaving the 4-5-7. It's a makeable split, but he's got to fit the ball right between the 4 and the 5 and have the 4-pin hit the 7. What happens a lot of times is you fit the ball between the 4 and the 5, and then the 4-pin goes around the 7.
Edwards currently is a +1, a tough spare to pick.
Has to make this to stay in the lead. 8 out, and suddenly Alby's ahead again. Everybody's making that mistake against Mike Aulby. And that seems to get him loose when they make that mistake. And it was just a bad break for Edwards.
Goes from +1 to down 13 and needs to get something going again. Those opens just kill you.
Well, when you get an open like that, in order to get back to even, you have to get a double. You have to get 2 strikes in a row just to make up for that open.
He's an electrical engineer.
Light again, fell off balance a little bit that time, stuck at the foul line, leaves the dinner bucket, the 2-4-5-8. Tough spare here, too.
23-year-old Mike Edwards. Let's take a look at it, Mike.
In order for this ball to strike, the 1 pin has to hit the 2, and you watch the 1 go right around the 2, and you see how he fell into our picture there. It was because he stuck a little bit and fell off balance. Didn't get through that shot the way he wanted to. Nice cover. Hard and straight, right at the dinner bucket.
So Edwards covers. Alby, however, is up 13. We'll be back to take a look at Mike right after this message.
This buzz for the crew, restoring America's pride in liberty.
This buzz for you. You know America takes pride in what you do.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this buzz for you.
I want a tire that's more than just an all-season radial.
This is Sears Response, the Super Guard Response Radial.
I want it to be tough.
With a special construction for 40% more shoulder strength than our other tires and a 45,000-mile warranty on the tread.
And I want it on sale.
It is. Right now, you can save 30%.
And what about small cars?
Get the Sears Road Handler Small Car Radio and save 40%.
There's more for your life.
We installed confidence.
At Sears.
Every bowler has to make adjustments. One of the adjustments we make sometimes is our thumb shrinks or swells is by adding tape. Mike Aulby right now is adding a piece of tape to his thumb hole. Then he puts his thumb in and checks it out to see if it feels right. Tears off another strip. That's about a half a strip. Sometimes you need half that much. That's a unique way of putting it in. Now it feels right.
And we'll see that next week because we'll be in Seattle. We're there for the second stop on the summer PBA Tour, the $115,000 Seattle Open, one of the oldest tournament hosts on the tour. We'll see the defending champ, Don Janello. Jim Baker will be there, Mike Aulby, Pete Weber, and Wayne Webb. Be sure and join us. June 19th, 8 o'clock Eastern. And back to the action here. Mike Aulby, plus 13, bowling in the 4th frame, working on a spare.
Interesting. I didn't say him take a practice swing after he put that piece of tape in. I always have to do that. I'm afraid I might hang in it after putting that piece of tape in.
Well, let's see how he does.
He's high again. And another Brooklyn, his 4th one of the match. Not this particular match, but of the day. He's had 4 of them. Have been over there 5 or 6 times.
And he continues to lead Mike Edwards by 13. Edwards an open in the 3rd.
And he's adding another strip of tape. Now, what might have happened here is during that break, there was about a 5 or 6 or 7 minute break in between there where we did have the bowling tip and stuff. His thumb could have shrunk a little bit, believe it or not, in that amount of time. And he's lost the feel. Now, he's added 3 strips of tape to that bowling ball.
Mike coached baseball for many years. One of the toughest injuries was a ligament injury to a thumb. I would have to think that bowlers come up with that because it's so easy to do swinging a baseball bat. This is twice as tough on the thumb.
I'm really, Irv, I've never heard of a bowler having a ligament injury. We have all kinds of other things happen to our thumbs. You know, they get blisters, they get sore, they get calluses, but I've never heard of the ligament. Gives this one more room. And is it going to fall? Yes!
Crowd really likes that. Let's take a look at the double by Alby.
Watch the head pin. Watch the head pin. The ball comes in light. The head pin goes to the wall. Now watch it come back around as a messenger and sends a message to the 7 pin to fall over. Puts him up.
He didn't bruise him.
So he gets a Brooklyn on one side and a messenger strike on the other. Every break is going Alby's way.
And he leads by 23 over Mike Edwards. 5th frame with a spare working.
Edwards has been light twice in a row on lane 62. Slowed it up a little bit and let the ball come in. That's exactly what he has to do. He's been firing just a little bit too hard, taking a little roll off that ball. He needs to just go through and make the stroke and let the ball come in by itself, not try and help it.
Great tip for the bowler like myself sitting at home. If you do slow it down, because he did have just a little too much speed the time before.
Yeah, the two shots before, he did have that little added speed.
6th frame, strike working.
Yeah,
Mike Edwards.
It's a big shot for him here. He must double to put some pressure on Alby. Gives it room. And gets the wall shot. Boy, that ball came back a long way.
Terrific job. Let's take a look.
This is the traditional wall shot. Watch the head pin. Go to the wall and take out the 4-5-7. See, that classic wall shot. Dick Weber made that famous over the years.
And I like it.
Look at that expression.
Carmen Salvino would like that. Alby.
So far,
13.
so far, every time somebody's put something to Alby, he's been able to answer the challenge. Hasn't hit the pocket in lane 62 this game. Let's see if he gets his act back together.
Double working in the 6th.
Try again. And leaves only the 6 pin. The ball held up more than I thought it would, to tell you the truth. But that keeps Edwards in the match.
What arrow or line are you going to look for right here to pick this up? Well, first of all, once again, more tape.
More tape. The 4th strip we've seen him at. He's just going to go cross lane at the 6 pin.
Little repair by Mike.
Notice he carefully sets himself even on a spare shot. He knows every shot is important here. Has the spare easily.
Picks up the 6.
Difference is 13 pins, 12 pins now.
Action in the 7th. Spare working for Mike Aulby. His career championship round record, 32-20.
By championship round,
216.
We mean when he makes the television show. Championship round's another term for it.
And the longest running show going.
Been going for quite a while. Light leaves the 3 pin, and we can have an interesting match here now.
This thing is going to get sticky. His count is 127 with a spare working. He is up 12. But Mike Edwards is working on a double.
When Edwards steps up on lane 62, he's going to be down 11 and have a chance to cut it to 1. Has the spare.
Does pick it up, leads by 11. Mike Edwards, can he cut it to 1? Well, you stick with us. Don't you dare touch that dial. We're going to find out.
Today's car engines work harder than ever. For the protection you need, look to the quality motor oils from Exxon. Protection against intense engine heat. Protection against punishing cold. Protection against grinding friction. For the protection that's just right for your car, look to the quality motor oils from Exxon. Quality you can count on.
The world's most popular sports are on ESPN Sunday. There's live Formula One excitement from north of the border at the Canadian Grand Prix. And that's not all. Our award-winning auto racing coverage continues with all the high-speed thrills and Kart's Portland 200 live. After SportsCenter, join us in Los Angeles for live World Cup soccer. The USA looks to score a win against Great Britain in exhibition play. It's all live Sunday on ESPN.
Welcome back. Irv Brown, Mike Durbin. Boy, look at those names. Guy on top isn't too bad, is he?
No.
All-time money leader, Earl Anthony. Oh, we swing down Dick Weber, who was 7th in this particular tournament. There's Bo, 6th spot. I recognize that 7th name. You're buying tonight. Larry Lobb, who's doing a great job keeping score for us, is right involved there.
I'm just trying to stay ahead of Lobb. As Edwards goes to cut it to 1. Light, and is he going to get the 10? No. Boy, every time somebody has a chance at Alby, something bad happens.
So Mike leaves the 10, had a double going. You saw the disappointment on his face. Very young, 23 years of age. Of course, he's really going against an old guy. Alby's 25.
25, yeah, but it seems like he's been out here forever.
All right, let's see if Edwards can pick up the 10.
Has it.
He looked down at his feet. You mentioned when he was practicing, he was over the line one time.
Yeah, one time in the practice shots, he went right over the line. Well, he goes up the line very quickly. He's aggressive all the way through.
Most of the pro bowlers are 5-steppers.
A lot of them are, and we see that he hit this TV pair better than anyone else, averaging 238 on it.
His 1985 average is 207.
8th frame, down 12 pins. Wants to get something going. Right there. Oh, solid 10. Weak 10, then a solid 10. Boy, just can't throw it any better than that, Irv.
No, threw it good. It's just disappointed.
That's
those video games. This is a great place, Celebrity Sports Center, because there are a ton of video games.
Oh yeah, there certainly are. Yeah, I had my kids out here a few years ago, and it cost me a few shekels.
Right, down 13. Edwards is down 13.
Cross lane at the 10 pin, throws it straight at it, no hook at all. Tip for our younger players: watch some of these pros shoot spares like that.
We're really down to the crucial portion of it now. How do you see this thing? Can
This
you,
usually
look to the future here.
Right. This usually is where Alby is the toughest. Right here is because under the heat he's able to perform. Up by 13. Wants to get a strike to save the count so that he stays ahead by more than 10 pins.
He has had a problem with the release. That's why he's been using tape.
Ooh,
Fortunate
he
to get a
almost broke up the split, leaves just the 6-10, cuts it down to an 11-pin lead if he makes the spare.
So we still have a horse race. 6-10 is what he's looking at. 8th frame action from Denver, Colorado. First stop on the PBA Tour. Mike Aulby will be the leading money winner after tonight.
Cross lane at the 6-10 should present no problem. Well, we can't take anything for granted. Has both pins with the ball. Heads for the 9th frame with an 11-pin lead.
At stake here, the loser walks home with $6,000.
And there you see the score, the difference, 145 to 134. Both bowlers working on spares as Alby goes for another piece of tape. That's 5.
Is that ball eating the tape? What is going on, Mike?
I don't know. Maybe he's got a little gremlin in there or something.
The loser of this match, $6,000 in his pocket. The winner advances to play Mark Baker. Will either take home 16 or 8,200.
Big shot here, the 9th frame, to stay ahead. Save that count. Boy, he threw his best shot of the match right there.
Boy, did he ever.
Got
You
enough
talk
tape
about
in the
coming
ball.
through. I mean, that was it. A strike in the 9th. Let's take a look at the best shot of the match.
Right down about the 2nd board. Just hanging near the edge of that lane, all the way down to about the 50-foot mark, and now it starts coming.
Is
Solid,
this
the 1-2.
Is this crucial for Edwards
Oh,
now?
absolutely.
He's down 11.
Absolutely. Now they're solid 10. I mean, the boy just cannot throw it any better than he's thrown the last 3 shots, especially the last 2. And he's in big trouble right now, because if he makes this and strikes out, the best he can get is 203. If Alby spares and strikes in the 10th frame, he's at 205. He had to have that strike to put some pressure on Alby.
This is young Mike's 2nd championship round appearance this year. As we mentioned earlier, he lost to my partner, Mike Durbin. All right, going for the 10 pin. He's got it.
There's still a number of possibilities here. If Edwards would strike out in the 10th frame, he would finish with 203. As we see, Alby with 165, a strike up. Edwards 153, a spare. If Edwards would strike spare and wind up with 193 and Alby opened in the 10th frame, we could have a tie in a 2-frame roll-off. So there's a number of possibilities yet, but Edwards must strike here on lane 61. He has chosen to finish on the left lane because he figured he could hit it under the pressure. Very little time. Gives it a lot of room. Got the action off the wall, but left the 8-pin. He still has a chance, but it's slim. He must make this.
Talked to him last night, Mike, and he said he really started feeling good about himself last year, getting the good speed, the good touch. I know he's a little disappointed right now because he has had some tough luck.
Oh, he really has. At the 8-pin, has the spare.
All right, so he does at least make Mike Aulby shoot.
Fills it up. He'll finish with 192 and make Alby get at least 9 on 2 balls.
Mike Aulby started the evening in 5th. Won his first one against Joe Salvemini. Handled Tom Kreitz, and now is working on Mike Edwards, trying to get to Mark Baker.
Aye. And it gets to Brooklyn. He threw all those balls in the pocket, couldn't strike, and then gets one on the Brooklyn side.
He says, I cannot believe it. I throw the ball good, and I get nothing. I throw the ball bad.
That's exactly
what
what
he
strike. That's exactly.
All right, Alby needs.
And Alby takes another win. He needs 9 on 2 balls. A spare or strike, and he's an automatic winner. But he needs 9 on 2 balls to be a winner. There's no way we could have a tie in this match. If he gets 8 on 2 balls, he's going to lose. So.
He is a +13 over Mike Edwards. If he gets that 9, he's in the finals against Mark Baker.
A lot of speed. Light. And he has the 9. That's enough right there. He's a winner. That's enough.
So, you heard Mike Durbin. Edwards will wind up with $6,000.
Mike Aulby pounds that rosin on the ball.
He did.
Then he wipes it off with a towel. It's the PBA rules. You have to do that. But
Mike Edwards now over $30,000 for the year. Mike Aulby approaching 125. And he gets his spare. So he has disposed of Salvemini, Kreitz, and Edwards. Waiting is big Mark Baker, and I mean big. This is a huge fellow. He will wind up with 2-something.
.205 with a strike. Back in the pocket and leaves the 9-pin. 204.
A 255, a 269, and now a 204. And that puts him into the final match. And at stake, $16,000 going against Mark Baker. All right, and that's all coming up. Mike Aulby, Mark Baker, our final match. All that action right after this message.
I'm here to tell you all you get by ordering Sports Illustrated now.
And I'm here to make sure he gets it right. Get it right.
Yes, sir. Mr. Alzado. Sports Illustrated not only gives you unbeatable weekly football coverage, they'll knock you over with their big 1985 college and pro football spectacular. And it is spectacular.
Go on.
It's filled with football. Full-color football. A bright look at the players and teams and the games they play. It's a lot of great stuff you don't find anywhere else. But you can get it all by calling this toll-free number, 1-800...
Wait a second. Don't give them that number yet.
But they need the number if they're going to call.
Not until you tell them everything they get.
You get the famous Sportsman of the Year double issue and the annual swimsuit issue. As always, a beautiful preview of what's new under the sun. And it's all yours. And by ordering now, you get 40% off the cover price.
Give them 50.
50?
Well, almost 50.
Okay. You get almost 50% off the cover price. So you'll get 30 issues at the low basic rates. payable in 3 monthly installments of only $9.89. So every week, no matter what the sport, you'll get the timely, colorful coverage that only Sports Illustrated can give you. What more could you want? Just call this toll-free number.
Give him this too.
Free?
Free.
You also get free this handy 1985 NFL football schedule. So
And this?
They get this great pair of binoculars too?
Do what I say.
So call now and you also get these sporty, high-quality binoculars.
Free.
Free with your paid subscription. They're perfect for getting closer to football or anything else you want to get close to. And they're free. Oh, and so is this handsome carrying case from Sports Illustrated. Not only do you get a lot of football, you get a lot more.
But to get it, you better call now.
I do what he says.
Call now. 1-800-221-3200.
In many matches, there's a turning point, and I believe the one was in the 3rd frame in this match when Mike Edwards left the 4-5-7. He had a pin come off the wall and knock out the 2-pin, leaving this split. He still could have stayed if he could have converted it, but he failed to get the ball in between the 4-5, getting 8 out, putting Alby in the lead, which he could never catch him.
Mike Aulby has just been perfect. A look at the young fellow, 25 years of age, who has rolled a 255, a 269, and a 204, 728, a 242 average, no opens, and now he has a chance to pick up $16,000 going against Mark Baker.
And he's not starting this match any different than the others. He's asking for a re-rack right away.
So, he's had trouble with the rack. He's also had trouble with the thumb. He's put, I'm not sure how many pieces of tape.
5 at least, but he's had no trouble with open frames. As wild as he's been, he still has been able to avoid those open frames. Gives this one room, pretty good. Leaves a 7-pin. See, that's why he asked for that re-rack, because that pocket gets closed a little bit like that, and you leave that soft 7-pin, or if it's closed on the right side, it's a soft 10-pin. I might also add that ABC, the American Bowling Congress, has spots down there, and those pins are within tolerance of what ABC allows. It's just that the bowler's eye is so sensitive that he can see if it's just a little bit off. It's like a basketball player can tell if that rim is a little bit forward or a little bit down in the front part of the rim or a little bit up. The eye becomes very sensitive in your particular sport.
No problem for Alby, who still does not have an open. All right, let's talk a little bit about Mark Baker. Big one, 6'3", 195. He was an All-American basketball player in high school. It's interesting, a little heredity there, because his father, Nick Baker, played at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga.
It was a lot of hook, a little bit rushed, didn't quite get the lift he wanted. He kind of shakes his head. As you mentioned, he was an all-state basketball player, and Mark is an avid L.A. Lakers fan.
Oh, yeah, this is his week.
This was his
strut.
Week, yes.
Reminds me of John Travolta. He leaves the 5'8" here. This is his 3rd appearance in the TV finals. He is really something. He had a quote in the morning paper. They said, well, what do you want to do? He says, well, I want to win $30,000 the next 6 weeks and go on the beach and watch some pretty girls.
He's a free spirit, that's for sure.
Going after the 5'8".
As a spare, no problem.
So he stays even with Alby, both spare in the 1st frame.
We also mentioned that Tom Barger is the general manager here. Tom Barger used to run a junior league in Southern California that Mark Baker bowled in years ago. So it's a small world.
His goals, simple, be the best bowler in Southern California. He has 600 games in his career. Had one back in the 1984 Aquafest down in Austin, Texas.
Comes in light. There's that power ball working. That hit pin goes to the wall and just splatters him.
Boy, you see the enthusiasm.
Well, he wants to win. This is such a big game for him. It's a big game for both bowlers. Psychologically, Mark Baker's trying to defeat Mike Aulby, who beat him last year. Aulby wants to be bowler of the year. If he wins this, it gives him 4 titles and really a leg up on it. So it's a big game for both players.
At stake is $16,000. The loser of this match picks up $8,250.
It isn't the money, though. It is not the money. I'll be back in the pocket. Comes in light, strikes. Seems to have put his act back together. Got through that game where he was struggling in the last game and has put it back. Both bowlers spare and a strike. Sometimes in a situation like this, it's the player that can get out ahead first and puts that pressure on the other player that winds up winning the match.
Alby strung together 7 in a row against Kreitz.
Well, if he does that this game, I'm afraid he's going to win his 4th title this year. But
all right, 3rd frame, strike going, Alby. His average 242 in the championship round.
Trying for a double. Gives it room again. And gets that light strike again.
Beautiful shot, picks up his double. Crowd likes it. We've had good crowds here.
And Mark Baker asked for a re-rack on lane 62.
Take a look, Mike.
Comes in light. Watch the 5-pin. One in the middle there. Ball just hit it. Now pin, it just falls over. Trying for a double. Ball just did not finish the way he wanted it to.
2-pin. A fellow by the name of Bill Julian taught him how to bowl, and he was very adamant about how he owes a great deal to Bill Julian. Taught him when he was 9 years of age. His goal is never to hold a job. Reminds me of U.J. Puckett of the billiards tour.
At the 2-pin, has the spare.
So he's got a spare, strike spare, and he's down 10.
Right-handed players have been having trouble with lane 62. The ball just doesn't quite finish as much on 62 for Baker or for Edwards as it does on 61.
His nickname is Bakes. Had a lot of scholarship offers out of high school. Bowling really has been the love of his life.
Solid 10. Same thing we saw Edwards leave on that lane. He's talking to himself.
4th frame action. His count is 59 with a spare going. He is down 10.
Boy, the breaks have all been Alby's way all day long. His opponents have just not been able to put anything together. Nobody's bowled 200 at him yet. Salvemini had 199, but cross lane at the 10-pin. Ooh, he's got it. It hooked back.
Bakes was shaking just a shade there. Alby up by 11. All right, Alby and Baker. Alby leads it by 11. Action in the 4th frame. We'll be back in Denver, Colorado right after this.
Red McElvain at Sahara Nissan with some good news and some better news. First, the good news. The 1986s are in, and there's no increase in prices. The better news, 8.8% APR continues through the month of June. That could save you thousands of dollars in financing alone. Look, compare the difference between Toyota and Nissan. Look how much more you get for your money with Nissan. At Sahara Nissan, Sahara indicator, the people you can trust.
You know those good times, they keep rolling on. At the showboat, they keep rolling on. The showboat, that's where you belong in Las Vegas. The showboat, come on along to where the fun goes on and on. Good times are rolling at the showboat. The showboat.
Welcome back, and here is the story. We have Alby picking up a strike, and now he leads by 20. He has 9 pins down in the 5th, leaving the 4th. Once again, up by 20 over Mark Baker. You made a great point. Nobody's rolled at 200 at him tonight.
Well, we're running a little bit behind him, so we had to bowl through. He did strike in the 4th frame and crossed over Brooklyn again on lane 61 in the 5th frame, leaving only the 4th pin. Another mistake that turns out to be a spare. He's going at a 2-team pace right now. Baker's got to get some strikes going to have a chance to win his 2nd title. Been light twice in a row on lane 62. He needs to either soften up the speed, or if he's going to throw as hard as he is, to move a little right. I think that he'll just try and crank it a little bit more.
He is down 20.
And ball just snapped on him that time, and it looks like Alby all the way. He leaves the 4-7-10. Unless he converts this, he is in big trouble.
First real split we've had tonight.
Well, we've had some others, you know, the washout and the Salvemini left the 3-6 or 7,
right.
But
is this makeable?
It's very improbable. Nice try.
Well, we could look back to the 5th frame as the one that decides this match, because now Mark Baker's down 36 pins. Open in the 5th. 6-frame action from Celebrity Sports Center in Denver, Colorado. Irv Brown, Mike Durbin with you. All right, let's see if he can bounce back. He needs to string some stuff together.
He's unnerved right now, and he's just lost his concentration a little bit, and he's disgusted, he's disappointed.
Leaves the 10 pin.
Cross lane at the 10 pin. Must convert this to have any chance of staying in the match. He's got to hope something bad happens to Alby. He's in trouble. Hooks by it.
So he opens in the
twice
6th.
in a row. And this match is just about over.
Up 47 is Alby. A spare going 6th frame.
See, the best he can do if he strikes out is 212 now.
Once again, nobody has rolled at 200 at Mike Aulby. He's been consistent for a while. He was dead stroke. He's had
second game he really bowled well. First game he had 2 Brooklyns in it. The last game he was kind of all over the lane. And he seems to have gotten it back together this game. Kind of a play safe shot there. Leaves the 3-5. It's hard to be getting these pins turned around for a left-hander. So used to calling it for right-handers.
This is the opener for the Summer Tour. 11 more stops will be in Seattle.
Well, Mike Aulby won the opener on the Winter Tour, and it looks like he's going to win the opener on the Summer Tour.
What's Mark Baker thinking about right now?
His mood is probably extremely black right at this particular point. As he chops it and keeps...
First open?
Yeah, his first open in 4 games. It gives Mark Baker a little breath of air. Right now, Alby is going at a 206 pace if he would spare strike out the rest of the way. Again, Baker is potential 212 if he strikes out.
Sitting around as we've got another re-rack going. Sitting around, has this really bothered Baker? You've been in this situation where they've got to come at you.
It's hard to come in and bowl that 1 game, but that's what you strive for, because you only have to win 1 game. It's part of the way we do things. You have to do it. Back in the 1-2.
Comes right back at him after the first open of the evening for Alby in the 6th frame. A strike in the 7th. Still a commanding lead. 34-pin lead for Mike Aulby. We'll be back right after this message.
Columbia 300 knows that all bowlers are not created equal. That's why Columbia 300 has spent years in research just to have the right bowling ball for you. If you need less weight, the light dot. Bowl on drier lanes, the white dot. The perfect all-round ball, the world-famous yellow dot. And if you're ready for urethane, the Columbia 300 U-Dot is your ultimate weapon. Columbia 300, sold only in lanes and pro shops.
Olympic gold medalist, Bart Connor.
What a feeling it was to fulfill that dream. For me, an important stop along that road to Olympic gold was the National Sports Festival. An event of the U.S. Olympic Committee, the Sports Festival is America's centerpiece of amateur athletics. And this summer, it comes to Louisiana. July 22nd through August 4th, more than 3,000 of our best will compete in 35 sports. National Sports Festival 6 in Baton Rouge. For many, where their Olympic dream begins.
Tomorrow, the 1985 U.S. Open tees off on your source for sports. It's live first-round coverage of one of golf's greatest championships. Then another Total Sports exclusive. See the first U.S. broadcast of the French Derby, plus a Belmont Stakes wrap-up. The U.S. Open and Down the Stretch tomorrow.
Friday, an ESPN special. Your #1 network for golf brings you the 2nd round of the 85 U.S. Open. It's some of the best golf you'll ever see live.
Again, because we're running late, we had to bowl through. Mark Baker in his 2 shots, he left the 4-6, 7-10 in the 7th frame, got 8 out, struck in the 8th frame. Alby got up in the 8th frame. threw it down there, and as he does in many customary situations like this, he yells at that ball to hook, hook, and it did hook, and he struck again, and he has a commanding 56-pin lead with 2 frames to go. The best Baker can get is 190. If he strikes all the way out, Alby going into 2-team pace would have to completely collapse to have any chance for Baker.
5th, 6th, and 7th really the bad frames for Mark. He was open. All right, here's Alby.
Tie. And he breaks up the split. Baker hit it twice and got 2 splits. Alby climbing another rung in that ladder to be Bowler of the Year in 1985. This is going to put him over the 130,000 mark. And we were kidding him earlier that he's going for 200,000 this year, and he definitely has a shot at it.
All he's done tonight, Mike, is roll a 255, a 269, a 204, and he leads by 56, shooting for the title at $16,000.
And he chops the 4 off the 7. Gives him 182. Situation, if Baker strikes out, he finishes with 190, would make Alby get 9 on 2 balls. Amazing how far it is that this game can turn around in such a hurry, but that's the situation. Baker can strike out, he still has a chance. He's high again. Just never could get close on the right lane.
The only time Alby really has been pushed tonight, Edwards came at him a little bit, but other than that, he's been floating.
He's really been floating. It's been an easy win for him all the way through.
It was sensational in game number 2, 269 against Tommy Kreitz. That 255 came against Joe Salvemini in the opener. All right, this is Mark Baker.
At the 3-pin. And the match is officially over now. Right now, the best Baker can get is 170, and Alby already has 182. So Alby is the winner. Baker just finishing it out, disgusted, disappointed, and angry. Leaves the 9-pin. Doesn't matter now.
This will be the 10th title for Mike Aulby.
It's always nice when you get into that double figures like that, too. I can remember my 10th.
Career earnings, he is now over $500,000. Went into the evening $498,358. As you mentioned, his career earnings, or I should say his 85 earnings, will be $135,000.
Not a bad year, huh?
Nope. And it all goes to his wife, Tammy. She'll dole out a little.
She's home now smiling and counting the money all the way to the bank.
Tammy, go buy a new outfit. He can afford it. So Mark Baker is disappointed. And he didn't even look at the shot. 159. Here's our champion, the Denver Open.
On the Brooklyn one more time, about the 6th time he struck over there.
He's liable to start doing that on purpose.
It's been carrying pretty good for him. Alby finishing out, can finish up with 212 with 2 more strikes. But he doesn't care at this point. Back in there. He's got it going where he throws it right. It's in the 1-3, 1-2 pocket for a strike, and when he misses, it goes in the 1-3 pocket for a strike. So.
We will see him once again next week in Seattle, Mike. Invite everybody to stay with us all year long. Mike Aulby. This is our winner. All we need is the number.
Finishes it out with 210 to 159.
He averaged 235, and we're standing here in Denver. They appreciate what he has done. Okay, we'll be right back. Once again, the final score, Mike Aulby, the winner. There's a look at Mike Aulby. 210 over Mark Baker, 159.
This bud's for everyone who scrapes it, sprays it, and lays it on smooth.
This bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This bud's for you.
Saturday, ESPN has one of the best live matchups of the USFL season when Oakland hosts New Jersey. Bobby Hebert and the Invaders have already clinched a playoff spot, while Herschel Walker has the Generals knocking on the door. It's a game for the Spring League superstars, live Saturday.
What do you call a charcoal that doesn't need lighter fluid? Convenient.
Matchlight charcoal. What could be more convenient?
Hey, Bobby, toss me the flashlight.
Here, catch.
One reason why a Durbin flashlight is so dependable is because it's so incredibly rugged. Another reason is it comes with Duracell batteries that'll work, even after lying around unused for 2 years.
I can't believe you threw that. You said toss me the flashlight.
Durbin from Duracell. It really works when you need it.
This Father's Day, get Dad a gift he can really use from True Value Hardware Store's Father's Day Circular. Like the Wagner Power Stripper Hot Air Paint Remover for only $39.99. Or choose the Weller 8-piece soldering gun kit for just $19.99. This Black & Decker 3/8-inch variable speed reversible drill is only $29.99. And the Master Mechanic electric staple gun is just $18.99. You'll find these and other great gift ideas at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
Well, that's a story here in Denver, Colorado. Mike Aulby, the winner. 4 straight matches. Nobody really pushed him. Alby, our champion, he receives a check for $16,000. And that'll do it. For Mike Durbin, this is Irv Brown. Thanks for joining us. The Denver Open has been brought to you by True Value Hardware Stores. We've got what it takes. And by Columbia 300, home of the light dot, the white dot, the world-famous yellow dot, and the all-new U dot. Once again, join us next week. We'll be up in Seattle. Mike Durbin, Irv Brown with you. The second stop.
Flame of the Summer Olympic Games. The Los Angeles spirit of excellence lives on.